What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for you of the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. Before I get into it, would like to encourage everybody, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Every subscriber I get, everybody that watches and likes the content, shares it, comments, whatever. I appreciate everyone. Helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it. Instagram, TikTok, and email are down below in the description if you want to check me out there. Email and Instagram DM are probably the best ways to reach me. So, got that out the way. Now, this is the Ontario Knife Company Rat Model 2. Go ahead and get a closer look here. This is one that I got from a guy at work. He needed it sharpened up, as you can kind of tell from the wear on the paint job there on the blade. He's definitely used the heck out of this thing. Good little knife. We'll go over all that here in a minute. And this is one that I just got the other day from, I believe it's Amazon, actually. I got this. They're getting harder and harder to find. OKC, Ontario Knife Company, is one of the oldest knife companies in North America. They were bought out recently. Don't know who bought them out, but they are still putting products out there. But you know, anytime a really old company like that gets bought out, there's always a chance that they could quit making this or that or change it or whatever. So I thought it'd be good to get this one, and I really wanted to get the one that matches my my Rat Model 1, which I'll show you here in a second. But we'll go ahead and do measurement on this. It's kind of like what I would call a medium-sized knife. Some people would call it a full size. You know, I'm saying the Rat 2 is kind of like medium size for a pocket knife. All the way from the tip of the handle to the butt of the butt of the handle, the tip of the blade, I'm sorry, you're looking at 7 inches overall. Blade length, you're looking at 3 inches. Cutting edge on it, looking right at 2 3/4 on your cutting edge there. Tape measure up, get the calibers out. All right, thickest part of the spine. Got 87.5 thousandths. 74 thousandths there. 88 thousandths there. It's a relatively thin. And looking at the apex cutting edge, you're looking at 17 thousandths. So not especially super ultra thin, but average, I'd say, at least, and a little on the thinner side of average, I would call that. Handle thickness, look at the handle thickness on this, 0.42 of an inch, so under half an inch. Good handle thickness on it. Perfect, I'd say, for the size of the knife. You know, it's not sharp, it's not bitey, and it's not too wide. You know, perfect little handle on it there. So we'll do size comparisons. First up, Spyderco Paramilitary 2, what I would call a full-size knife, and then your Spyderco Para 3, right around the same size as a Para 3. I'd say more comparable to the Para 3 definitely than the Paramilitary 2, which is much larger, right? So right around the same size as the Spyderco Para 3. Nope. Put the actual knife I'm reviewing up, y'all. Alright. Got the cold steel. 8010. Way bigger than the Rat 2. And you got the Demco knives 8020.5, which is still a little bigger, but more along the lines of the same size as the Rat 2. And last but not least, the brother here, the big brother. This is a Rat Model 1. And you're looking at a pretty good little size difference there between the two Rats. Rat Model 1. Overall, you're looking right at 8 5/8. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, right at 8 5/8 total length of it. Blade length, you're looking at 3 5/8, and then cutting edge, you're looking at 3 3/8 on the cutting edge on the Rat Model 1. So, you know, that's kind of one of the this is a classic knife. You know, I mean, this thing is a staple of the EDC community, and it's known for being kind of like this or the, you know, Model 1, everyone's first kind of step into, you know, more quality folding knives. You know, now you can get years and years later, you know, after it comes out, that of course they've got better knives than the Rats, you know, for entry level knives. Like the D2 version, this one, I actually paid less for this one than this one, because this one was actually a little harder to find. I wanted the one with the green handle and the satin finish, so it matched as close as possible to this one. I thought it'd be good for, you know, size comparisons on here, because there's no dart, you know, there's no contrast. This is the exact same knife, but shrunk down, you know, by 20-25% or so. So the Rats are a classic. You know, they have stood the test of time. Still a great little knife. You know, there's a lot of knives that you know, this one costs around $48, I think is what I paid for it. There's a lot of knives that have passed it up, as you know, as far as everything goes, really. You know, as far as the lock, you know, you can get a button lock for around that price now. As far as the steel, this one's in D2. The AUS 8 is a little bit cheaper. They tend to be around $5 to $10 cheaper for the AUS 8 versions of them. But yeah, it's been surpassed by a lot of knives just because it's been out for so long. You know, I mean, it's been out for, I don't know the exact release date on it, but the Rat's been out for quite a while. So got the size comparisons done. We'll go ahead and get the scale out here. Make sure it's zeroed out. All right, Rat Model 2 and G10, 2.8 ounces. 2.8 ounces. All right, so comparatively, do the Rat Model 1. I did a whole video on the Rat 1, by the way, but the Rat 1's 4.9 ounces. So that's something to factor in too. Since the price is so close, you know, typically the Rat Model 1 is more expensive than the Rat 2, you know, unless you're looking for something specialty, you know, like a certain, like a carbon fiber, you know, which this is like a peel ply carbon fiber on this one, actually, I think. But I think this one is more expensive than this one, if I remember right. But you know, if they're the same on average, your Rat 1 is going to be a little bit more than the Rat 2. But the weight and the length of the blade, and kind of like what you're looking for, is more applicable to buying this, I would say, if that makes any sense. You know, so if you want a bigger knife, you know, you would go with the Rat 1. If you want a smaller, lighter knife, you go with the Rat 2, you know, and that's pretty much simple, all there is to it. Go ahead and do the blue jean, get the blue jeans out, pocket check on it. Now, one good thing about these, another good thing, I guess, about these are the clips are reversible and ambidextrous, right? So you can carry it tip up, right-handed, which is how I like to carry it, like that. Or you can flip the clip, tip down right-handed, you know, tip up left-handed, tip down left-handed. So that's a good thing about the Rat. Model 1 and Model 2 both have that. That's what you're looking at. So definitely not a deep carry clip, not a terribly large amount, you know, sticking out the pocket, but still a good little bit. You know, somebody's definitely going to know that you've got a knife in your pocket whenever they look at that. Do a hardware check on it. I think it's T8 on the pivot. That feels kind of loose. And get a T10 out here. Yeah, T10. All right, so the pivot's a T10. Body screws, I'm thinking, are T6s. T6 on the body screws. I'm almost positive. I just swapped this clip around. Yeah, T6s on that. So T6s everywhere else, and captive pivot, that's a good thing. T10 on the pivot, T6s everywhere else. All right, so I'd rather them be T8s. It'd be a lot better, you know, but not impossible to disassemble a knife with T6s. And that's like when I was talking about knives passing it up. That's one way a lot of knives have passed it up, you know, because a lot more modern day knives could get away with you know, less, definitely less hardware in them, you know. Like if this is the pair of 3, you know, this has only got 2 body screws. So just a little way that a lot of knives have passed up the Rat 2 going on here, but still, it's not impossible to take apart a knife that's got T6 body screws by any means. You know, you just got to be careful with it. You know, the T6s are incredibly easy to strip out. I've gone through a lot of T6 bits, and I've only gone through maybe 2 or 3 total in the whole time I've been disassembling knives with T8s, and I don't think I've ever swapped out a T10 or higher bit. So that's one thing you got to watch with them. And I think that's about it for specs and everything on it. The G10, I really like the G10 on the handle. It is a little bit contoured. You know, the way they got that G10, it feels nice. For its weight, 2.8 ounces, you're sitting right at the ounce and inch ratio. Not an issue at all. You know, anything under 3.5 ounces, I don't really even notice is in the pocket that much, to be honest. Thumb stud actuation is really good. You know, got a real snappy action. You just push up and out a little bit, but mostly up, and that thing pops right out there. Great action on that, you know. Phosphor bronze washers is what it's riding on. I don't know if you can, let me get my flashlight out here. Might be able to see them there. Yeah, you can see them a little bit in there. It's riding on phosphor bronze washers. You know, kind of stands up to grit and dirt and sand a little better than bearings, and plus they're kind of like self-lubricating over time. So that's a good thing. I really like the thumb studs on this. The only thing, I love the thumb studs on the Rat. Probably some of the best thumb studs in the knife world. You know, when you look at knives that are 10 times as expensive as this thing. But if I could change one thing about it, it would be the thumb studs. You can't remove them. So let me see if I can find. All right, here's a. You can pull that with a flathead, right? This is 80-10. You can pull these thumb studs off with a flathead. You know, so that's, and they got them with, let me see, let me get the Deca out real quick. I know that one's removable. Yeah, you can pull those off, you know, turn this side, these thumb studs unscrew and come off. A lot of them are removable with Torx bits too, you know, so that's one thing I wish I could change about it is, you know, to sharpen it. Since I use a lot of time, I can hand sharpen too, but a lot of times I do use my fixed angle sharpener like the KME or the TS Prof. And that's one thing that a lot of times will get in the way on a knife unless you position it kind of awkwardly or a little more different than you normally would. Is whenever you're sliding it back and forth, it can slide against these thumb studs. So you got to kind of watch that. But removable thumb studs are a good thing. The jimping on it, it's got a little bit of jimping at the top. You know, if you're choked back like this with your finger, kind of like that, you know, that's a good thing. It feels comfortable. You can choke up on it a little bit for more precise cuts and stuff like that. You know, go all the way up, not an issue there. I wear a large size glove. I don't have the largest hands by any means, and I don't think I've got the smallest hands by any means. My hands are around, you know, average, I guess, and I can get a full 4-finger grip on it, just barely though. That pinky finger is almost sliding off, but that's what it looks like, choked up and choked back right there. I like the satin finish on it. You know, it's a good satin finish. It's not full-on reflective satin finish, but it is very close. You know, factory edge came pretty good with this one. No blade play in it, left, right, up, or down. Centering's pretty good on it. Could have been over a little bit more this way, but the centering's not terribly bad on it. Might actually have to do something to kind of adjust that, but yeah, that's kind of like a modern day classic, I guess. You know, the Rat 2. I don't know what the thumbnail is going to read on it or whatever, but it's been out forever. It's been surpassed by a lot of things that are better and cheaper while being better and using better materials, you know, but it is a classic nonetheless. It's something that kind of helped pave the road in a lot of ways for a lot of other stuff, you know. So that's one reason I wanted to get it, and one cool thing about it. Also the blade, if you look at the blade real close, this is Randall's Adventure Training, Ontario Knife Company. Right there. Rat knives. But that's what it says on that print that's on the handle. Made in Taiwan too. Another thing I didn't mention, but they're not made in China, they're made in Taiwan. Big difference there as far as price to make them goes, and as far as quality goes a lot of times. But there are a lot of Chinese OEMs and a lot of Chinese budget knives that are passing up Taiwanese made stuff and American made stuff for that matter. So anyway, that is the Ontario Rat Knives Model 2. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to do a Sunday sharpening. Now this video might come out before the Sunday sharpening or after, I don't know, but this week I'm going to do the Sunday sharpening. Is going to be with this one. This is D2 also, the Rat Model 2 that a fellow that I work with kind of had sharpened up. So I'm going to do it, and that's going to be the Sunday sharpening there. So anyway, thank you guys for checking it out. Appreciate everybody that subscribed to the channel, everybody that likes the videos, watches all the content, helps support me. I'm not financially yet, you know, I'm not monetized, but you know, it's the kind of supports what I'm doing here, and you know, I really appreciate everybody being so nice and accepting, and everybody in the community really is great. So I guess that's all, y'all. Until next time, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.